Hello, my name is Samuel Yardyang, and today we're going to talk about our Flexa 25 solution. In this case, we're going to talk about the control of radiators, where we can have a maximum of 8 zones and 10 valves. Also, if you had underfloor heating or cooling, we could also include that control in this case. We're going to see all of the different components that we need for the Flexa 25 solution for radiators. The first component that we're going to view is the control board. Okay. The control board has the power source, okay, high heat, low heat, the bus cable, we've got the CAN bus cable, and the antenna for the wireless thermostats. Okay. Then we're going to view the actual communication board for the radiator valves, okay, that has the communication of the bus CAN that connects to the central board, okay. Following that, we're going to view the actual radiator valve head, okay. This valve communicates through the previous component. Also, we can have the different adapters for each type of radiator, and this can be viewed online, okay, to make sure that the radiators are compatible with the valve that we're working with. Then we're going to move on to the actual thermostats. Our main thermostat would be the blue face thermostat. We can have this in various colors, okay. In this case, we've got the white thermostat, which is cabled, okay. After that, we would see our think thermostat. In this case, it's black. This is a wireless thermostat. And then we have our basic line of thermostats, which is our elite thermostats that can be cabled or wireless. Okay. In this case, this one's cabled and this one would be wireless. Okay. As we can see, we've got two main tones of colors, which are white and black, but also we have the possibility of having different color edges. Finally, we're going to view the web server hub. This allows us to communicate with our installation through the Airzone Cloud app or to provide any type of integration. After seeing all the different components of the Flexa 25 for radiators, here we can see an actual setup of all of the different components. Up in the box, we've got the central control board, the actual control board for the valves, the wireless valves, the thermostats, which would be obviously each position in their own zone, okay, and we've actually got the valves on the radiators themselves. In this case, we've installed it on a DIN rail, okay. But we can also see that we've got the possibility of screwing the central control on any other surface, okay? Also, if for whatever reason we've got a lack of coverage for any of the wireless components, we can attach, so we remove the existing antenna that's on the components, and we can attach this one that can be placed closer to the respective thermostat or the wireless valve. As with any electrical installation, before we do any manipulation, we always recommend that the power is always turned off, okay? We can see that no LEDs are on anymore, so we can now manipulate the actual installation. So here we've got the power input, okay? This is for the web server connection. And then above we've got the bus CAN, okay? That you can see is the same color as the one for the radiator. And then finally, we've got the communication to the thermostats themselves. When we take the valve out of the box, obviously we need to include the batteries, okay? Before doing the association, we need to make sure that we've opened the channel, okay? For associating the wireless valves of the radiators, we can see right now that we've got a fixed blue LED on the wireless symbol. If we press it, it opens the channel to do the association, and if we press it again, it closes the channel. And when we activate the valve itself, in this case we can see that the letters are upside down, okay? So we can easily change that by going back to off, okay, in this case, like that, and we press the top of the valve 5 times. Okay, and it switches it over so it's the right way around. Okay, once we've done that, we can associate the valve. We need to make sure that the valves are positioned, as we mentioned before, in their respective locations to make sure that we've got the correct signal. Okay, we go back to off, and to associate having the channel open, we long press the top of the valve. In this case, it's going to be assigned as valve 1, as it's the first valve that we've assigned. Then we go to the next valve, we long press on the next valve, and that's going to be assigned as valve 2. And on the third valve, we do the same. We long press, and we get zone 3. There we go. Once we have all of the valves assigned to each zone, we can then proceed to doing the commissioning of the thermostats themselves. As we always recommend, we've got the blue face thermostat. We always recommend having at least one in the installation. And what we're going to do is, as it's a touch screen, we can select over the screen itself. We select, in this case, English. Okay, we confirm. Then we choose location. In this case, we go to other, and in the app we'll be able to select the UK. We confirm. And as it's the first thermostat that we are commissioning, it's going to give us the association of zone 1. Okay, remember that zone 1 will be associated to valve 1 in the first instance. We confirm. In the case that we would have more than one radiator in one zone, we can also associate that to one zone. Okay, we'll be able to see that in a moment. Here we choose whether to use this thermostat as a master or a zone thermostat. In this case, we're going to confirm as it's the blue faced as a master thermostat. And as I mentioned before, we can see that we've got 3 valves associated to the installation or linked to the installation, and we can associate the respecting valves to this first zone. So in the case that we would have 2 valves in this zone 1, we would highlight both 1 and 2. In this case, we're only going to highlight number 1. This is the QR code, which allows you to access via our app, okay, and do additional configurations. And that's how we do the commissioning of the blue face thermostat. The next thermostat that we're going to commission or link is the Think thermostat. This is a wireless thermostat. So in the box, we get a battery, okay, that we include in the back of the thermostat itself. And we position it in the final position that it's going to be in the zone. Once we have done that, we need to remember that the screen is not a touch screen. We use the buttons that are surrounding the screen. So in this case, we press the Airzone logo. We select the language. So in this case, we're going to go to English. Then we select the country. We go to other, okay. We confirm. And now it's going to ask us to verify that the wireless association module is open on the central board. So once we have the installation with the power, okay, we can open the channel to associate the thermostats, okay, by clicking this button here. We can see that we've got a fixed light on the wireless signal. We press it again and it closes the channel. Once we have assured that that is open, we press start and it does a search. As we can see, in this case, it shows us the strength of the signal that is being received by the Think thermostat. We need to assure that this is above 30%. In this case, as we've associated previously the blue face thermostat to zone 1, this is going to select zone 2 automatically. We confirm and we continue. And here it allows us to select different options. In this case, we're going to leave the basic selected as off. Okay, it explains to you how to use it and we can continue. And that would be the Think thermostat linked to the system. Finally, we're going to go with the Lead thermostat. In this case, what we're going to do is within the actual box, we get this presser. we can use it to remove the thermostat from the wall, okay? And behind the actual thermostat, we've got micro switches from 1 to 8, okay? As we can have a maximum of 8 zones. In this case, we're going to mention that it's zone 3, so we put up the zone 3 micro switch and we can press it back in. As soon as this gets a power source, it's going to blink for that association, okay? And then we have associated the thermostat in this case, okay? In the case that it was a battery powered or a wireless lead thermostat, we would put the micro switch on zone 3 first and then put the battery in afterwards. Once we have commissioned all of the different thermostats, we can go back to the blue face master thermostat. We can press the person icon. We can go to information, devices, and we can make sure that all of the devices that we have in the installation are considered on this list. Then we go back and we're on the main screen. So the other interface that we can use when doing any manipulation of the installation is through the Airzone Cloud app, having a web server installed in the installation. So we can have two ways of communicating, is going through our Air Tools. Okay, this allows us to do commissioning or configurations of the installation. If we have a internet connection, we have the possibilities of connecting directly through that Wi-Fi connection or internet connection, okay? Or if we don't have internet connection for whatever reason, we can go straight through Bluetooth, okay? When doing the Bluetooth configuration, it's going to ask for a PIN, okay? When we are requesting to communicate with the web server, we have the MAC number, or the PIN number is also what we're going to need to do the configuration. Okay, in this case, it's 1923. And this is going to load us onto the installation via Bluetooth. Okay, here we can see all of the different zones that we've got. Okay, we've got the blue face thermostat, we've got the zone 2 and zone 3. Also, what we have done is, considering that we might have another thermostatic head, this can be on a towel rack or it could be in a radiator that's in a hallway that we don't actually want to associate a thermostat with it, because it in itself is also a thermostat, we can create an additional zone for that wireless thermostat. So in this case, we would confirm that would be zone 4 in this case, okay? We confirm, and now the installation would have 3 zones with thermostat and 1 zone without thermostat, and using the actual valve itself as the thermostat. Once we are in the main configuration, we can access each one of the zones, and we can do modifications like to change the name of the zone itself. So we could call it bathroom or living room or bedroom or master bedroom, and this allows us to do these changes. Also, in the case that we had an issue with configuration, we can go into settings, we can go to output settings, and if we associated incorrectly on the initial configuration the thermostatic valves, in this case we would be able to reconfigure them as needed. So we could change, instead of this being 2, we could change it to 3, and we would be able to link it over, okay? In this case we're going to cancel because we've been able to do the configuration as we wished. And this is the same for all the other zones that we've got in the installation. Any other additional advanced changes that we want to do, we've got links on our website to be able to do that and to explain step by step how to proceed. To finish this video, we would like to inform you as well that in the description of the video itself, as well as on our website on airzonecontrol.com, you'll be able to find additional information. Thank you.